You're listening to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a business coach for online health coaches who want to attract their ideal clients, stop feeling defeated by their never-ending to-do list, balance a healthy lifestyle with their growing business, and stop over-analyzing what everybody thinks of them so that they can confidently own their message and online presence. On this podcast, we dive deep into health information you can share with your clients, business strategy tips, and more. Let's get to it. Today I wanted to come on live because I feel very inspired to talk about one of my favorite high performers, because I know if you're in this group, you're a high performer, you want to improve yourself, you always want to keep growing. And so I wanted to share some of my favorite lessons from my favorite high performer, and I want to get right into it because I have 10 of them. I don't know how long each of them will take, but we're going to have some fun today. So my favorite high performer has to be Madonna, and a lot of people love or hate her, but I think you're really going to like these lessons that we can learn from her. And a lot of the reasons why people don't like her are the reasons why I love her. So anyways, that's kind of how high performers are. They know who they are who they are fearlessly, and whoever likes it, great. Whoever doesn't, they don't really care. And so that's one of the things I love about Madonna. So let's get right into it. The first lesson that we can all learn from Madonna is be a full person. And recently on her Instagram, she posted a little video, I guess, or video of her reading an excerpt from a book by this feminist woman. And it is a quote that kind of goes along the lines of, be a full person. Motherhood is a great gift, but don't solely define yourself by it. Your child will benefit from that. You don't have to, never apologize for working and doing a job you love, because doing what you love is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and your child. And you don't have to love your job, but you can love what your job gives you. The confidence, the freedom, the self-fulfillment, all that comes from doing and earning. Okay, so the reason why I like this quote and I wanted to share it is not because I want to talk about motherhood or anything, but because it's important to not, as a high performer, if you want to be up, being your best self, don't put all of your joy in one basket. Meaning, it's great to love your business, or it's great to be pursuing your health goals, or it's great to be, trying to work on your relationships, but it's important to not let other things fall to the wayside while you're doing that, because if something happens that was unexpected with your business and you're betting your entire full self on it, you're going to be super disappointed. And while I am a big fan of really focusing on one thing, and part of success is narrowing in on your core values and really pursuing only a few things at a time without overwhelming yourself, I think it's important to be a full person, like Madonna says. Be working on your skills. Be working on, your life, your dream life as a whole, not just, putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. So when it comes to your habits, I do think it's important to focus on one thing at a time, but I also think it's not necessary to be miserable on your journey to building that habit. And that's kind of what this whole quote, be your full self, be a full person, kind of means to me. So anyways, next thing that I wanted to talk about that's a good lesson from her, and before I even move on, I myself am a performer like Madonna, and I feel like self-care and practicing good healthy habits allows me to bring my best on stage, and I think she feels that way too, so I feel like we resonate in that area. But the second thing I wanted to share that's a great lesson is that discipline is freedom, and I'm sure this is something that Madonna believes as well, because why do you think she's able to be like 56 years old on her last tour and be dancing around like a crazy person and be wearing these amazing costumes and not even be out of breath and still be able to sing? It's because she practices in her daily life the non-glamorous discipline of working out, eating healthy, and she's a busy lady. She makes time for it. And so I think that we can all see that she sees that discipline gives her the freedom to do what she loves, which is performing and performing full out and being able to push these boundaries of, being in her late 50s and still being able to travel on tour and be so resilient and, jump roping in some of her tours and dancing and singing and all over the place and still be able to do that long term. And she's one of the celebrities that doesn't do drugs, that doesn't drink really, and it's because, at least she's tried drugs and all of that, but only once, apparently. Can you tell I'm a super fan? So anyways, the bottom line is she knows that discipline allows her to be free in her art and do what she loves in the way that she wants to do it. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is that she pushes the limits, as we all know. So not only in what she puts out there with her music, but Madonna is really, during every single one of her tours that I've watched on DVD or one in person live, she is always picking some weird skill to do on stage. So one time she walked a tightrope across the stage. One time she did this whole double Dutch jump roping act while singing Get Into the Groove. One time she was DJing. Another time she started a show in this headstand yoga pose that's extremely hard to hold. So clearly she is pushing her limits because that's what makes it fun. That's what keeps her engaged after all these years of touring. And so with you in your life, when you're trying to build a new habit or reach a goal, you have to make it exciting enough and challenging enough that you feel on fire to do it and you feel motivated and you want to keep doing it and practicing, because clearly she would have to work for that, and she just pushes her limits and continues to do so, and that's why has this young spirit about her. She's always learning something new, and I think that's a really important life skill or life lesson, to always push your limits. It's never too late, it's never too early, and it's something we can all do. So the fourth lesson that I wanted to share is to rebrand yourself when your old story isn't serving you anymore. So we all know that Madonna is a queen of reinventing herself. So if some phase that she's in isn't working for her anymore, or she wants to keep her fans engaged, she changes it up. And so in our own lives, this applies to habits and health and lifestyle, because a lot of times in our own lives we have stories that we keep holding on to that don't serve us, and we continue to hold on to them. We don't reinvent ourselves. We don't rebrand ourselves every once in a while, and sometimes we need to do that. So if there's a story you're telling yourself, I always can never find the time to exercise, or I always mess this up, or I always self-sabotage myself, then that will continue to be your story. But what you could do is choose to reinvent yourself or rebrand yourself and give yourself a new tagline, just like a business would, when they're not aligned with their core values or core mission. They have to re-strategize and look at their old things that they've been doing as a brand and say, is that aligned with us? Maybe not. We need to change our mission statement or whatever. So you can do that too in your own life. So one of my favorite new little rebrand statements is I am giving myself and my clients the experience of sustained high effort, because a lot of times we don't know how good we can feel. We don't know how much we're capable of, because we do something for such a short period of time and then things get a little hard and we stop doing it, and then we never are able to get to that next level because we're just continuing to not sustain that high effort. But imagine what would happen if you did stay consistent, if you did keep up with it, how good you would feel. And so my kind of new rebranding thing, and part of starting this group, next level habits has to do with that. So that is something we're going to talk about in the Habits Consistency Challenge. How do we sustain that high effort when we don't feel like it, when we get tired? And so I'd love to know your thoughts on that if that interests you, and what you've tried in the past that hasn't worked for you, where you get stuck, right? So always don't be afraid to rebrand yourself, and you can work with a coach on that. You can talk to somebody who knows you really well and see what kind of beliefs, negative beliefs you put on yourself that others see in you, and just start to get in touch with that and think about it. But that takes some reflection time, so you got to make a little time for it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is lesson number 5, which is Madonna doesn't try to be confident, she just is confident. And how has she become confident? Because she's done everything you could possibly imagine that would be embarrassing or that would challenge her. And so she's built up confidence through doing that. And so we can do that too. But the big thing, the reason why she's able to be confident and unique and not like everybody else is also because you better believe that her inner dialogue is not saying like, ugh, you're a piece of, I'm not going to say it on here, this is a family group, or like destructive beliefs in your head. We all have destructive beliefs in our head, or we let other people allow us to feel small, or we allow them to make us feel worse about ourselves because we're not at their level. And what we admire in other people, we often don't see in ourselves. We don't think we can be like them. And so Madonna doesn't, you think she's spending time on Instagram or on Facebook just looking at other younger artists and thinking, well, I'm not as good as them anymore, or I should just hang up, give it up at this point. No, she's probably thinking in her head a lot of things that we'd say, oh, someone who's full of themselves would say that about themselves, but hey, she is confident and she's able to put on a great show, and she's challenged herself and she's earned the right to feel good about herself. And so we all can, not, work on not comparing ourselves to others, and obviously working on our own confidence through actions that push us. And she's not, there's actually a song where this shows that she's not comparing herself to others, or she knows her unique gifts, and we all have our own unique gifts that we need to share with the world. And the song is She's Not Me, and it's like about, I think it's about like her boyfriend sleeping with somebody else or dating somebody else or whatever. And the chorus goes, she's not me, she doesn't have my name, she'll never have what I have, it won't be the same. So with you and your journey, no one else is you. No one else has your unique gifts. And so if there's something you've been wanting to try and you're not doing it, just remember, it won't be the same done by somebody else. So, a little cheesy, but just keeping it fresh for you guys. So, the other thing that's really important is if she's able to have like 6 kids, I think, and travel and have a skincare line and have, her music, clearly she knows that she's capable. And a lot of times we don't know that we're capable of so much more than we think we are. So that's another belief to explore. If you feel like you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, just know that you are capable, you do have unique gifts, and you can build confidence through actions over time. And not from motivation. Motivation comes next. Motivation comes from taking action. Once you get on a roll, then you feel motivated to do more things and build more confidence, right? So you have to start with taking the plunge into something scary to build confidence. Then number 6, Madonna over-delivers. So all of her tours, she has like 20 dancers, she has a full lights, she has some kind of thing that's different, like not having to do with singing or dancing, like a person flying in the air, or somebody with double jointed arms pulling them behind their back, or I don't know, just a bunch of random stuff. So
she over delivers, and you don't. A lot of times with our own habits in our own life, we think that if we are over delivering, like overdoing it, we feel like we're giving too much away. Like if I'm giving you this free video right now, I do not at all feel like, oh, I should be selling this or like offering it. Like a lot of times what we do is we have resentment when we give too much in life, when we give too much to our jobs, when we give too much to somebody we know, and there's a feeling of like entitlement, like, oh, we should get something in return right away. But the truth is that if you love what you do, you just have high standards for yourself and believe that you're a high performer, then over-delivering is just part of your DNA. That's just what you do, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't feel like you're giving too much away. It's just part of who you are, and you can take confidence and pride in what you do. And so that's something I kind of like about her is that, she charges a lot for her tickets, but she doesn't, I don't get the feeling that she feels like resentment, that she's giving all this amazing stuff away, and, it's just part of her. That's just what she expects. She has high expectations for herself. So have high expectations for yourself and be on your own journey, and don't feel like you're entitled to something in return. Just do it for yourself. Do it for your own confidence boost or your own joy. Okay, now lesson number 7. Thanks for sticking around with me. I can't tell who it is because I'm using, actually I can maybe tell. Let me see. I don't know. I'll check. But anyways, moving on to number 7, lesson number 7. Madonna uses her strengths. Oh, it's my mother, one of them. I don't know who else, but anyways, okay. So Madonna uses her strengths. So she's not the most amazing powerhouse female vocalist, at least in my opinion. She has a good voice. She could sing on key. She has a lot of songs, but I personally don't think she's like the most amazing female vocalist in the world. And so she probably knows that as well, but because she compensates. She dances. She has the whole brand behind her. She has the best dancers on her tours. She puts on a full production. So she knows her strengths, which are dancing, performing, pushing the limits, costume, all that stuff. And she doesn't think, well, just because I'm not the most amazing female singer and I'm a professional singer, that means that I can't go on tour and rock it. She does it anyways, and she capitalizes on her strengths. And she might have the weaknesses, but they're very much probably only something that she knows about, there's something that nobody cares because she's using her strengths and puts on a great show anyways, right? So in your own life, when you are building a new habit or trying to reach your goals, it's important to not let your strengths set you back, and that's going to lead into my next tip, because she's not defending her limitations, and that is lesson number 8. She doesn't allow her weaknesses to be a reason why she cannot do something. Meaning, she is 50-something, but she still wears these outfits and still goes on tour and dances her butt off. And she could say, well, I'm too old for that now. Other women my age aren't doing that, so I shouldn't. And she doesn't let her age ever define her. She actually hates when people are like, you're too old to do that. She always is like, why? So don't defend your limits when you're building a new habit and trying to create behavioral change. There could be a million reasons why you feel like you can't do it today. There's not enough time, you don't have enough resources, you need a coach, whatever. But you don't have to let that define you. You can look for the reasons why you can and focus on those and focus on the next step for you that makes sense and works for you. Anyways, number 9, the tip that I'd like to share is she took a risk before she felt ready. And this goes back to building confidence and building new habits. You have to do something that feels really uncomfortable at first before it can feel easy. Easy is earned. Easy is something that you build up to because you've practiced over and over on the days you don't feel like it, on the days where you're tired, on the days where something comes up. When you have a habit you want to focus on, you have to earn easy, and you have to take the risk or do it when it feels uncomfortable until you become comfortable. And the reason why I'm saying that she took a risk before she felt ready is because she moved to New York and dropped out of college, I believe, at Michigan State to pursue being a dancer, a professional dancer. And she dropped everything she had, and she lived in this really tiny apartment and was working at like a sub shop or a donut shop or something while she was trying to pursue and go on auditions to be a dancer. And of course, she trusted her gut. Of course, at the time, that probably seemed like the scariest decision ever, and is she, completely dropping her future? But she was determined, and she said, whatever it takes, I will do it. I will work at a sub shop. I will live with cockroaches. I will move to New York, where I need to be a dancer and to be a performer. And it ended up working out for her. But it doesn't always work out for everybody. But that means that you just have to stick with it long enough until it does. I'm sure she had a long time where she wasn't there yet, and then she got there. But that's with any journey. With your habits, you're going to have slip-ups. You're going to have times where it feels uncomfortable. You're going to have times where you're like, what was I thinking when I signed up for this boot camp or whatever? But you got to keep going, whatever it takes to get you to your goal. And you have to create a sense of urgency for yourself. So she put it all out on the line before she was able to make it, right? So she wasn't, she created this like burning hunger to achieve being a professional dancer and performer that lit her on fire every day to take action. And so you need to find something for you that's going to light a fire under you to make it happen. And so for some of you, that might be having a coach, an accountability coach. For some of you, it might be like making it harder for yourself to go back to the old bad habit that's not serving you anymore. So if it's like you're trying to give up candy and sugar, not having it around the house, and so you have to find something that creates a sense of urgency for you, that accountability, that something along those lines. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to share, lesson number 10, is what others think of her is actually used as her fuel. So, for example, when people are like, oh, you can't do that anymore, you're 59 or however old she is now, you can't wear that anymore, you can't perform like you used to or whatever, she uses that as fuel to prove them wrong, and just not necessarily because she feels like she needs to show someone she could do it, but it just fuels her, and she uses it appropriately. When somebody gives you feedback that is maybe negative or not constructive, just negative, then you should use it in a productive way instead of letting it completely derail you or make you feel like you should give up, or allowing it to be a limitation now and using it as an excuse of why you can't do something, or letting that comment become ingrained in your head about yourself. So always use what other people or environmental challenges, obstacles, use the obstacles as fuel, motivation, reasons why you can overcome it, something that motivates you. So I hope you guys liked this video.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Be sure to get your free gift over at HaileyRowe.com by joining my email list. And remember, you can always connect with me and other health coaches in the Health Coach Nation free Facebook group, where I post trainings and videos on how to take your health coaching business to the next level. Can't wait to connect with you. Have an awesome day.